Hey everybody, it's Galmanex, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Amonkhet Remastered. Without further ado, let's get into the Pack 1 Pick 1 with a bunch of sweet uncommons. The Burning Fist Minotaur has these built-in combat tricks. Anything in your hand becomes the ability to give it +2/+0, and that is a real good combat trick on a first striker, so that's a great card. Crocodile the Crossing is just ridiculously big for its mana cost, even as a 4 mana 4/3 haste, that's great, but a 4 mana 5/4 haste, if you can put that -1/-1 counter elsewhere, is incredible. And then Oketra's Monument also plays really well. If you play this before you cast too many creatures, then you're going to get like 3 or 4 1/1s out of this throughout the game. 3 mana for that many creatures is very, very good. So really want this in your opening hand, but if it is in there, it actually plays pretty great. So I think all 3 of these uncommons are pretty reasonable picks, but you know what, I haven't played a lot with the Monument here. Let's go for creature spam, token deck, white nonsense. Pick number 2 now. What do we have here? Nothing as good. There's no rare. There's no great uncommons. Just some decent commons. There's removal with open fire. There's the deserts that are going to improve our deck no matter what. However, these are both colors that we don't know if we're playing yet, so I guess they'll improve our deck if we're playing red or black. And then there's like Oketra's Avengers, like the best just aggressive white creature to go with the monument here. Towards white aggro. Yeah, I think I just take the open fire, honestly. Just take the efficient removal. Pick 3 now. Farm to Market is pretty spectacular. It's 3 mana to destroy an attacking or blocking creature no matter what, but if you're playing blue-white, it's also got that added flexibility from the graveyard that's really nice. Filter through some extra land draws in the late game. Farm to Market seems premium here. No matter what, if we're playing white, we can just blow something up with it as removal. Pick number 4, Start to Finish is another great Aftermath card. So if you're playing black-white, it's spectacular. Get 2/1/1 tokens and then sack one of those tokens to destroy any creature. Start with a bunch of split cards here and see what colors we end up with them. Seems fine. I don't think there's anything else super premium here. Burning Fist Minotaur is pretty solid if we want to just lock on Boros here. Open Fire and Minotaur towards red. Or the Desert as well towards red. These are probably the top 3, the red cards in the Start to Finish. But I'll grab the Start to Finish. And now for pick 5, does not look as exciting at all. Yeah, honestly, the only cards I would really pick highly ever are Oasis Ritualist for really splashy green decks. Can double ramp you as well with the Exert, which is insane, or Desert the Mindful, just as a desert towards blue, but we're not even in blue yet, so I'm just going to grab this random Ritualist. Another Start to Finish. All right, that could convince us to just go black-white token nonsense. It also plays well with the Oketra's Monument, just because the extra tokens that are left behind are good with the finish half of this. I don't know, I guess it sort of plays well and it sort of plays poorly. It plays well in that, like, we're going to have tokens towards finish, but poorly in that it's not actually a creature spell to trigger the warrior producing ability. But yeah, this seems fine. Also, Struggle to Survive is great. Just Struggle alone is a good removal spell. But double Start to Finish seems a little cooler. I mean, I guess if we take Struggle to Survive, we also got like a green-red path here, which is interesting. I don't know. I was actually going to take the Struggle in the end, but I clicked a little too late. So now we're a little deeper towards that black-white path. Pick 7, another Oasis Ritualist, a Splendid Agony. Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs is fine. Crop Elite can be fine if we go full token deck, which we're kind of maybe headed towards. Thinking Splendid Agony again towards black-white since we do have double Start to Finish now. Just a great instant speed removal spell. You use it as a combat trick against bigger creatures, but in the early game, sometimes you clear out a couple 1 toughness cards, which is also great. Pick number 8. Not a very exciting pack. Just take a filler, Scorpion or Vizier here. Take the Scorpion. Pick 9. All right. Compulsory Rest is not like great, but not terrible. Riverwinder and Countervailing Winds are the best cards in the pack. Only 1 card towards blue, though, just a Farm to Market. And I don't like doing 3 color in this format without being in green for like Oasis Ritualist type cards. So I'm not going to go Esper. But I guess it's early enough, I'm not like locked in. on black here. We could still speculate on a blue card, but Compulsory Rest is decent enough removal to stick to our most prevalent color, which is white. Pick 10 Desert the Glorified. That's actually kind of sweet. Solitary Camel is also fine, but you need the deserts for it first, ideally. So I'm going to grab the desert. Pick 11. Mighty Leap's pretty filler combat trick, but it's on color. It's that or the Destined to Lead. Isn't really good unless you're also aftermathing it. And I guess I would almost always want to end up cutting the Mighty Leap, though. Deserts are really good. I'm going to take a desert over an on-color camel. Just to have that option if we open up like a red mythic and end up in the color. Okay, pack 2, pick 1. We did not open up a red mythic, but we did open up a Boros Signpost Uncommon if we really want to go red-white token aggro. Crop Captain looks very good in No Catcher's Monument deck, so that would be reasonable. However, we've got quite a few black cards. A lot of them are filler, though, right? The Unburdened, the Scorpion, the Wander, the Destined. So for good black cards, we have Splendid Agony, Double Finish. That's still definitely much deeper than we are into red with just Open Fire. So I'm feeling like we're taking Gravedigger here as just the best black card over the Boros aggro card here. Sticking to black-white. Okay. Another Splendid Agony looks pretty good. Desert of the True looks pretty good. That's about it here. Soulscar Mage is decent if we were red aggro. But I think we're locking in at this point. It's late enough now. Pick our strategy here. That strategy is Orzhov. We need a lot of creatures. We have like all non-creature spells right now. So we need good creatures over anything else. Sacred Cat, Oketra's Avenger are both reasonable creatures. The cat, since you can replay it. Dunes is like very fun. I like all of the dunes a lot. All of the deserts that can sack themselves to do stuff. Great at preventing flood, but we really need to up our creature count, so we gotta take Avenger or Cat. Even Aven's actually fine. It plays well with Exert abilities, but we already have 4 3-drops. Rather take a cheaper creature here. And I'm actually, weirdly enough, gonna go for the Cat over the Avenger. Because the fact that it can turn into a zombie is actually pretty relevant in Orzhov. A lot of cards that care about zombies in particular. Pick 4, Final Reward for good removal, or Evolving Wilds for random fixing. Let's grab the Final Reward. Pick 5, Gust Walker is a huge pickup, like the best aggro 2-drop in the format at common. It's a 2-mana 2/2, and as soon as the board gets cluttered up, it's going to attack as a 3/3 flyer every other turn to make sure you keep getting damage in. Wonderful card, and I'm super happy to see it. Another Desert the Glorified or a Cartouche of Solidarity. We have no trials yet, which makes the Cartouche a little weaker, and also our creature count's super low. Have to have a creature on board to cast this, but putting this on almost any creature is a fantastic deal. I kind of want to just go for another desert, though, because this is going to be really awkward without enough creatures. Whereas the desert's always going to be good. Hey, there we go. There's one of the cards that cares about zombies, Wayward Servant. Whenever any zombies enter, each opponent loses a life, and we gain a life. So we just keep draining our opponent throughout the game. Pick 8. Horror of the Broken Lands is fine in pretty much any deck. It's obviously best in cycling decks, but just being a top-end creature that you can cycle away if it's in your opener is good already. Pick 9, we wield the Captain. And every other red card in the pack. But honestly deeper into black than white even at this point, so I just don't think Boros is an option this late in the draft. Well, this is a zombie. It's not an exciting one, but it is a zombie. Got the Oketra's Avenger to wheel too. Pick 11. There was like nothing else we wanted out of white, so Actually, looks like we're going to be perfectly fine in the colors we've taken. All right, final pack. We've already got almost a whole deck here, so we just get to improve from here. Gotta be Desert's Hold, right? Even Mind Sensor is fun, but there's not a lot of searching your library going on in draft, so basically a 3-mana 2/1 Flash Flyer, which is still okay. However, Desert's Hold is fantastic removal. Enchanted creature can't attack, block, or use its activated abilities. That happens no matter what. It's just that if you also have a desert on board or in your grave, then you gain 3 when you play it as well, which makes it really absurd. This is just a really, really good removal spell. I'm going to take that. Pack 3, pick 2. Sunset Pyramid is great. Card advantage in any deck. And the creatures here are all just fine, so I'm going to take the card advantage. I'm not going to take a Rags to Riches without access to both halves here. I don't think we're that defensive that we want just -2/-2 to everybody. Vizier of Remedies is pretty filler, but it's whatever. I've got way too many 3-mana cards, so I'll take another 2-mana creature. Ooh, Trial of Ambition. This card's fine by itself. 2-mana sorcery, your opponent sacks a creature. You do really want cartouches to go with it, ideally. That's when it gets absurd, but it's already fine up front. Pick number 5. Let's grab another random creature. I guess I could take an Evolving Wilds and run a single island in this deck, and then we have 2 random ways to slashback market. But still really looking for creatures. Pick 6. There's a cartouche. Now that we have a trial, and our creature count's a lot better for actually casting the cartouche, I will absolutely take it. Actually, I will put that in the creature curve, since it kind of counts as another creature. Binding Mummy's pretty awesome. 2-drop money that taps, or 2-drop zombie that taps some things down. Fanbearer's a great cheap little zombie here. Happy to take that, and Winter Priest is also good. But I'm going to go for the 1-drop, curve out a little more. Pick 9, here's another decent 1-mana zombie. Or the Oketra's Avenger's a fine attacker with that exert ability. Yeah, let's get a little more aggressive here. 10, Supply Caravan. A little more top-end creatures. Lighted Bat, treated as a 4-drop. Alright. Solid little black-white tokeny deck going on here. Oh, nice. Another Binding Mummy's actually definitely going to get played. I don't know if I have room for 8 non-creature spells here, but I do like all these. Probably Final Reward, Compulsory Rest getting cut before the rest of the removal. Trial of Ambition, Desert's Hold, Double Splendid Agony, Farm all seem a little more efficient. Better than those. Okay, then those are probably all of our non-creature spells. Now we just need to cut a few creatures. We actually have double start to finish still for even more removal. That also counts as creatures. So maybe we could even cut more non-creature spells and just be massively creature heavy. Because yeah, we naturally have 2 start to finishes, being both a creature and a removal spell. What are the worst creatures in the deck here? Probably Vizier of Remedies doesn't actually do anything. Miasmic Mummy, I don't like discarding cards. Still plenty good 2-drops there. 1 toughness is pretty bad. Makes cards like Splendid Agony terrifying. Yeah, what if I drop these 3 and 2 of our spells? Maybe we actually drop the farm to market without blue. I'm not going to run these islands. I still have 2 copies of Finish, 2 copies of Splendid Agony, a Desert's Hold, and a Trial of Ambition. Desert's Hold Trial of Ambition's a little bit of a nombo. If I draw the Desert's Hold before the Trial of Ambition, that's pretty bad. But they're both so good individually that we still keep them in. I'll drop a Farm to Market. Maybe I could just drop a land for the last card, because my only 5-drop is cyclable. Yeah, sure, we'll go 16 lands on this one. Seems fine. 15 white cards, 10 black. We're on a 9-8 split right now. No double black in the deck. Sure, I think we can go 9-7 then. And we will call it a deck here. Let's hop into the gameplay, see how it does. Alright, here we are on the draw for game 1. We've got a Gust Walker to start things off, which should be pretty good. Bunch of start to finishes. We got both copies here. Kenra Scrapper is the first play from our opponent. I got a Tawcrop Elite potentially coming up with these wide board states with all the tokens, so I am gonna get aggro and just exert in here. Worst case scenario, we'll just sack one of the tokens to kill the Scrapper if it looks like we are gonna fall behind, like if we're not hitting the lands. Merciless Javelineer. I'll probably actually sack a token to kill that. Now we have an Oketra's Monument to play before we cast any more creatures. Lighted Bat. Ooh, if we find our Splendid Agony, that card's gonna be awesome, because that's 1 toughness. Binding Mummy. So, probably once I have 4 mana, I will play Oketra's Monument and Binding Mummy in the same turn. It's gonna make the Mummy cheaper. So this turn we're just on another start. Yeah, and then I can triple block the Scrapper and they only kill 2 1/1s. We still have 1 left to cast finish. Or we let the 1/1s die to a combat trick, that'd be fine too. Still have the finish that can use our Oketra's Monument tokens later. Alright. Trade into the Supernatural Stamina. They've got another Scrapper that's not good, and missing land 4 is incredibly bad. Probably fatal. Yeah, I've got more than enough cards here to get ahead in the long game, but I don't have the mana to deploy any of them to survive to the long game. Well, both the Scrappers are stunned for a turn. Oh my god, Arena, please. It's still so bad for me because I had to cycle to get to it. Yeah, more threats. We're down to 4. Pretty sure we're just dead. Because the Scrapper exerts, I can only play 4 blockers total. Yeah, no, we just needed the mana sooner. Rough start. 0-1 to some screw. Alright. We already got more lands than we did last game. Well, technically we hit the 4th land exactly when it was too late. But the start looks really nice with the curve out. And we know we're good on mana. Blue-black from our opponent. Excellent archetype in this format. That Wasp of the Bitter End. Our Splendid Agony plays really well against. I think I'm trying to do that here. Which means an exert attack so that this doesn't die the Wasp. We don't want a Splendid Agony until they play another creature. So I can put a -1/-1 counter elsewhere and get that extra value from the Agony. And we just tap the Wasp next turn if they don't attack. Cool. Yeah, especially with draws like these, we can absolutely just dump mana into the Fan Bearer because I have nothing else to do with my mana. Soul Stinger, that actually plays really well against Splendid Agony. Because when it dies, it moves all its -1/-1 counters to whatever they want. So giving them another -1/-1 counter might just actually be beneficial to them. Well, that's not the creature we wanted to see. Desert's Hold is good against it if they don't have a way to sacrifice it. So that could be helpful. We'll try it. Bone Picker, Flying Death Touch. Death Touch is not ideal. But I can tap it down. Can also just do a full start to finish and kill the Bone Picker here. Feel like I'm gonna do it this way. Ooh, Floodwaters is pretty great here. Slows us down significantly. Does finish instant speed? No. I guess Fanbear is just going to be spending 2 mana to tap Bone Picker every turn anyway, so we'll just trade it into that and have start to finish for if they play another blocker. This is another Floodwaters. Unquenchable Thirst. Unquenchable. Not unquenchable. I'm just spewing out word soup. Wander in Death. Pick up 2 creatures from grave. That's going to be real good if they survive long enough. None of those have flying, and then I can start to finish whatever flyer they do play. We just get Gustwalker in for the lethal. Guess it's going to be 1 damage off from lethal, but still... Cryptic Serpent. Miasmic Mummy. So I'm going to kill a blocker here and then kill them, right? I guess I could discard the start to finish and just sack the Bone Splasher. Or Bone Slasher. But I can also get the 1/1s and then sack the Bone Slasher. Attack for lethal. Yeah, they only have a Gravedigger in hand. This is guaranteed lethal. Even without the Exert. We get to turn things around, and 1-1 is the record now. Alright, here we are for game 3. Opponents on a blue deck, cycling a Striped Riverwinder immediately. Ooh, Oketra's Monument. I didn't even notice that in the opener. So, we want to play Monument turn 3, so probably Wayward Servant turn 2, since that's the only creature in our hand that doesn't get cost reduced by the Monument. Do need a land in our first 3 draws, but statistically that should be pretty likely, and there it is. Unfortunately, Servant doesn't attack into the Seeker, but I'm still going to maximize the Oketra's Monument profits. Can Splendid Agony the Seeker pretty easily later, but I'm still immediately getting this Monument down. That should really help us grind out throughout the game. Do wish I was on double planes here. That would have helped a lot. So we'll draw the 3rd black source. Super rude arena. Sick jokes. I guess I can cycle this desert and still cast one of these white spells. The only uncastable thing in hand is Gravedigger without the Desert of the Glorified. Yeah, let's probably cycle it. I guess I'll play around Censor here by playing our creature first and holding up the 1 to pay for the Censor. Alright, more white creatures. Oh, we need the plains so bad. So we can actually double spell and get these Oketra's Monument profits. When? They are also stuck on mana. Is Splendid Agony just our best play right now? Probably Binding Mummy. So we can just keep tapping the Seeker as we play more creatures. They're just over it. They are tired of seeing Oketra's Monument trigger, apparently, and we are going to be 2-1 heading into game number 4. Alright, game 4. Sacred Cat into Gustwalker into Splendid Agony. That is a hand. I guess we don't get to cast the Agony turn 3, but that's fine. Because it's still very relevant later. I could top deck a Swamp and cast it turn 3, but probably just playing the Desert tapped on that turn. Supply Caravan, not a bad draw. Now even if I do draw a Swamp, I'm likely playing this Desert of the Glorified. Evolving Wilds is starting the game off for our opponents. They can grab whatever basic land they need. We'll find out what it is shortly. Forest it is. Green-white from our opponent. Initiate's Companion's the first play. That is a great card for us to kill with Splendid Agony. But for now, we'll just get around it with First Strike and Flying to hit for 5 this turn. And of course, the 1/1 token produced by this cartouche is also really important. That's going to stop them from untapping a land with the Companion, because they just can't attack into a 1/1. Pretty beautiful turn for us. Our hand's actually just really good against Initiate's Companion. Desert's Hold. Keep our cat stunned. Luckily, our deck is actually pretty good against that. Because we have 2 copies of Start to Finish, so we can just sack the Sacred Cat and reanimate it from grave later. Oasis Ritualist. Right. Oketra's Monument has arrived. That'll be awesome later. Let's just make Ritualist a 1/3 and send in the squad. Killing Ritualist might be worth not agonying the Companion here. So if they block Ritualist, if they block a 2-power creature with Ritualist, we might just double agony that. I think we actually set up for that. Because we actually have a good enough board state to just attack into Companion regardless. So if they just don't block, we play Monument. If they do, then we Agony Ritualist. Unless they block the 1/1 with the Ritualist. No blocks. Monument it is. Haven of Enduring Hope. Gain 3 life and get a 3/3 flyer. And then Ritualist drops a Fan Bearer. We're gonna make a super wide board over time, so Fan Bearer shouldn't be super great here. Let's just keep putting stuff on the board. Stalwart Vizier of Remedies. Alright. Looking good. We just clear out this flyer and we've got a clear path to victory over time. They can only Fan Bearer down one of our 2 flyers. So we actually do... Oh shoot, Vizier of Remedies actually stops Splendid Agony. If I put 2 -1/-1 counters on one card, it'll still get 1. So I can still give the Aven -1/-1, which is enough to have a Gustwalker and Elite kill it if I exert both this turn. And I'm at 23, so I can take the crackbacks to do this. Okay. Also, the trade is not that bad, since we'd have to exert ours every turn. But it's probably better to Agony than it is to just play 1 Avenger. Well, there's a new flyer, the Dauntless Aven. That one's too small to block any of our flyers well, though. since we can exert them as 3/3s. Land 4. Let's go. Supply Caravan's going to be in a super big board. There's our own fan bearer, so we can fan bearer their fan bearer during their end step, and then that's when we're going to get the top crop elite attack that just kills our opponent. Because, I mean, look at this board off this monument. Yep, it'll take a couple turns, but we use this fan bearer to tap theirs in our next turn cycle. Then we untap, draw, swing in the board. And we're still winning through a board wipe, just holding on to the Gravedigger. If this is some weird try to get a board wipe attack or anything. Alright, it is a board wipe. Ooh, Wayward Servant was actually a sick draw. Yeah, Oketra's Monument just gives you such board wipe safety too. That every creature you draw is 2 creatures now. Yeah, there's the concession from our opponent. We are 2-1, I believe. Had a couple longer games, and my short-term memory is abysmal. Well, my memory in general is abysmal. We're 3-1. All right, let's go. 50-50 run no matter what. But we'll see if we can't get another win or two here. Get in the money out of this draft. All right, here we are on the play with Sacred Cat turn 1. Sacred Cat with a cartouche on it is nice. Build our own Brightblade Stoat. 2/2 first strike lifelink. Just a good stat line. Black-white mirror match. Trespasser's Curse. That's actually kind of nasty against us if we try to do any Oketra's Monument nonsense. Anything like that, that's going to be really bad. Not a particularly good time. This is not a zombie scorpion, so we don't need to play that before the servant. We just need to play the servant before the Gravedigger to get that value, and I don't think I'm playing Gravedigger for quite some time, because I don't expect anybody to be dying soon. I guess they could trade off into the Scorpion here if I don't Agony. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to Agony. Do I still want to send in the Scorpion? Yeah, with Gravedigger in hand, I kind of do. I guess we're going to lose the Wayward Servant ping, but it is what it is. I'm not going to give them a free kill on the 1/1 Vigilance. If I send everybody in, they'll just take 1 more damage to kill this without losing a creature. Oh. I don't know about this, but that feels annoying enough to Agony. 2/3 Lord of the Accursed. Hey, it was definitely annoying enough to agony, because we have a new one. They have another supernatural stamina? Oh, probably not, because no blocks. Cool with me. Now they have a lot of mana up for tricks. And just Gravedigger back the Servant post-combat. That's really not bad for me. Shoot the Sacred Cat. So the Sacred Cat dies, I Gravedigger back Servant, and then spend 1 to also embalm the cat. Does not feel bad either. Alternatively, just getting the Lord out of the way is fine. Yeah, I'll get it out of the way at this point. Just wanted them to tap some mana to make the outs that they could have to this. To make there be less outs they could have, less cards they could have, because they have less mana up for like bigger instance. But this way I get to actually ping them when I play the Servant to counteract the Trespasser's Curse life gain. Wander in Death, do they have the basic? They don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We play a zombie and they're dead? Actually just gonna... Oh wait, no, they're not dead, right? Because our trigger goes on the stack first, which means theirs resolves first. So they gain the life before the Servant deals the damage. Dang, that was gonna be so cute. Play a Gravedigger without picking anything up from grave just to ping them. But no, they would get pinged after they gain the life from the curse. Because it goes active player, non-active player. We're the active player, so our Servant goes on the stack first. Which means their curse goes on the stack above ours. And they gain and then take a damage. Alright, there's the concession from our opponent anyway. We still have 2 wide of a board, and we are 4-1 at the break-even point in terms of gems. Ooh, we got a Rakdos random rare reward. Feels pretty good. Alright, here we are for game number 6 with no white source. Certainly the most awkward hand so far, but the Sunset Pyramid can do a lot of card draw to try to grind out a long game. Might be sketchy. No, it's not. It's the perfect hand. Instant Plains. I was going to say, Sunset Pyramid Splendid Agony already plays a really good defensive role. But now we're just on the offensive. We're just going to top deck the perfect creature every turn. Top deck the Plains to play a turn 1 creature. Top deck the 2 mana creature. Here comes the 3 mana creature. Watch. Oh, Sunscourge Champion's an incredible card. Alright, it's not a 3 mana creature, but it is a creature I can play this turn. So this card is fantastic. 3 mana, 2/3, and you gain 2, and then you can bring it back from your grave for 4 as a 4/4 and gain 4. Card is bonkers. To where I think we need to just fan bear that thing down over and over. So we are working our way up to 5 mana, so we are going to play the desert as a land. I guess Catcher's Avenger can exert attack into that, so that would be a fine play here still. But this is a huge roadblock. It's going to trade off into 2 creatures and gain 6 life over time. They do have to discard a card to eternalize it, because otherwise the rate is ridiculous. Oh god. Alright. We are playing the long game after all. Disregard everything I said about being the aggressor. We're not breaking through that. We are on Sunset Pyramid value time. even initiate. Just fan bear that down to attack with everybody. I'd still be rather fan bearing things down when they have the ability to attack us. Man, bomb decks are so good at grinding the long game, they can definitely outgrind a Sunset Pyramid. Supply Caravan holds them off pretty well here. If we get a tapped creature on our board. Sure. And then just our big booty camel can start attacking into the 2/3s. No, not anymore. Our big booty camel has been locked down. Our opponent is a very aggressive player. I do want land 6 for start to finish in 1 turn, but I'm probably casting start this turn anyway. I guess I might be on like Splendid Agony plus draw a card off Sunset Pyramid. Yeah. Could be on Gustwalker plus Fanbearer. No, I'm just gonna Splendid Agony the Sunscourge champions. Make them small enough to not matter here. And then I'll Fanbearer down the Initiate every turn. Kill one. If I kill one, they get to get a 4/4, but then start to finish that. I don't want to take the extra damage here. Oh my god, every single card in their deck is a massive 2-for-1 Embalmer. How do you ever break through this without exile removal? I think the answer is you don't. This matchup seems awful. Yeah, I have to Fanbearer to not die immediately. Then I still just die next turn. If I don't hit land 8, so that I can start to finish and Fanbearer. And then even then there's gonna Embalm or Eternalize one of these. Just have 2 flying attackers again. Winter Priest. And an Elite. 3 flyers out. Deserts hold for the life gain? It's pretty substantial. I think that's about the only way we could have actually survived this turn. Because now I can fan bearer the elite and just take 3, or the initiate and just take 3 and block everything that attacks on the ground. And next turn I need to start to finish, kill the elite, and keep tapping the initiate. Which I guess because I need to start to finish so bad, I should just scry with the Sunset Pyramid instead of playing a Gustwalker. Probably should have still attacked with Avenger, though. But they're going to have attacks on the ground because they can't exert this elite to send the ground troops into here. Okay, no exert. They just want to get another 4/4 in their grave. Another Anointer Priest, so they gain 6 off of all the Sun champions. Yeah, we've kind of already accepted we're not winning the race. But my lord, are we really not winning the race? Alright, we need a basic. That's a basic. Start to finish killing the elite because it doesn't embalm, sacking the caravan because it's stunned forever, or it's held forever. And I have the 4-power first striker to hold off the 4/4s on the ground and the fan bearer to hold off the initiate forever. So now we're officially in a top deck war somehow. We're quote unquote stable, but our life total is 4. So there's that. Wow. And then off the top, make their 4/4s, flying and vigilance. Seems good. Well, we were stable for exactly 1 millisecond. And then they drew an incredible card. And so we're dead. That's all it takes. 4-2, heading into game number 7. Alright, here we are on the draw for game 7. Decent little opener here. We start with the Avengers, since I don't have any zombies for the mummy anyway. Initiate's Companion. Now I do. I have a zombie, and I think I'd rather trade Binding Mummy for Companion than an Avenger. Boop. Stalwart. Well, I need to play this before I ever cast Desert's Hold, so I guess I'm casting Trial of Ambition right now. Kind of a forced play when you have a Desert's Hold in hand. Bone Slashy. They're stuck on 2 lands. Alright, the 2-lander they kept is not working out right now. And let's just get aggressive, have 9 power on the board here. Removal spell to clear a path once they play a blocker. Not the best blocker, but a blocker nonetheless. If I can have their life total, I'm gonna do it. I have fond memories of playing this set in paper, because during the pre-release events, they actually came with four-sided dice, because they look like little pyramids. You could use those for your brick counters on your sunset pyramids and stuff. It was very fun. I was just thinking about that with the sunset pyramid sitting there. That's a good draw. Right, there's the concession from our opponent. They just got a little too mana screwed there against an aggressive start from us. We get a free-ish victory there for 5 and 2 in the money out of this draft as we head into round number 8. All right, game 8, we get some more Oketra's Monument shenanigans. Play around with that. Should be pretty cool. I think we're starting with Gustwalker here. Binding Mummies do play really well in multiples, though. So maybe I start with that. Okay, the Elite is going to be awesome with the Monument. I think I'm still just going to start with Gustwalker. We're doing it again. Our Oketra's Monument hand with tons of creatures, but only one white source again. Rough. It's tragic. You hate to see it. Yep. Without another white source, we're not actually really profiting off this monument too much. In terms of the mana cost reduction, we're still going to get a lot of tokens. So that'll be nice. Oh god. Yeah, on the play with a mana dork is always incredibly threatening. It's a 5-drop when I'm sitting on 3 mana. And they have the desert on board to shut off a blocker each turn. And now we're stuck on mana. We might just die again. Yeah, I can only play one spell because I don't have double white. If I had double white, I'd have infinite options of double spells with the mummies and the servant. Or just 2 mummies. Oh boy. Do I need to just play start so that I can finish the Ceradon next turn? I might have to. Yeah, that Ceradon is just massive damage. Pathmaker Initiate, they can get an unblockable creature every turn. I think we're dead. I think it ends here. Especially with draws like this. The lack of white, absolutely fatal here. Again, 2 plains and a swamp, and we'd actually have a really reasonable shot here, so pretty sad outcome, but a solid record overall. At 5 wins, we are still profiting off of the draft. Yep. Incredibly similarly to our first loss. More than enough cards to get ahead in the long game, but just not enough mana to actually deploy them. Really not enough mana. We're dead to a lot of red burn spells off the top at this point. So hopefully playing Wayward Servant next turn, but I still want to play the Mummy instead of the Avenger here so I can block this Vitalist without losing a creature. Okay. It's the Servant we wanted. To get a little bit of life drain. I don't think I'm gaining the life immediately though, because I'm going to make sure to have a 3-1 to put a 1-1 and a 3-1 in front of this Sharpshooters. But next turn we gain the 2. Tap like their whole board. I actually have another 3/3 blocker up and all these tokens. Oh my god, did we actually do it this time? They're at 3. We're at 4, so we're not dead to 3 damage now. Crocodile the Crossing has haste, but not trample. Oh my god, I think they're dead on board. 3 blockers, yeah? Oh! I was certain that was a replay of that first game, that we had the Monument and like so many creatures to dump out to flip the game like we did there. But we just didn't have time to do it. That game we had exactly enough time, like just barely. That was as close as it could possibly be. Razor's edge kind of game there. But we flipped things around, and that is 6-2, very far in the money now, and we've made it all the way to the final battle. This will be the final game of Magic for today, win or lose. All right, here we are on the play for the final game of Magic. I don't think we can keep this with no white source, because we've seen how deadly it is to have the Monument without even like double white. So not having the single white and having 3 actually white spells, I think is just too rough. So we'll take the mulligan. This is better mana now. We play Avenger, we play Scorpion, and we start playing 4-drops. I guess Elite's not actually that good in this hand, so we'll ditch that. So we're not going to have the widest board. But we'll probably have something dead. Okay, I don't mind the trading our 2-drops here. Especially against a black deck where they can have -1/-1 counter cards that play really well against the Oketra's Avenger. And we have the Gravedigger, of course, to bring back our Avenger. Okay, trading into this 3-drop is even better. Stops them from drawing the extra cards off of it. Sick. And then we just use a Sunset Pyramid to keep up in the long game. Card advantage-wise. There's the Trespasser's Curse again. Actually pretty concerning to see that. With our Monument and start to finish nonsense that we toy around with. Let's be mana efficient here. 1-drop and a 3-drop. No. Let that resolve and then play this. Don't cycle it. My 2/2 has been scattered. I actually think the Fanbear is even better than the 2/2, so that's fine. Oh yeah, Fanbear is so much better against Ominous Sphinx. Super good here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend the 2 on tapping the Sphinx anyway. So I'm not gonna play Sunset Pyramid here. I'm gonna play the Avenger. Horror of the Broken Lands. That's actually a massive issue. Yeah, the problem we're having here is that these two together make it impossible to block. Because they cycle one card, and this gets +2/+1, and my blocker gets -2/-0. So we're actually in a really bad spot here. Even if I can tap the Sphinx every turn, the Horror's gonna start getting in. And obviously I can't attack in because I can't tap both of them. Yeah, these two go together like peanut butter and jelly. A single cycle is so monumental here. So I suppose they do need to cycle 2 cards to eat Those Who Serve and Gravedigger if I double block. They can cycle 1 card and kill one of them. But they need to get to 6 power to kill both. Oh, they are at 6 power immediately. Never mind. Shoot. For some reason I was thinking it'd be at 5 power after 1 cycle. It's our own Horror. I really just wanted land 6 so I could actually Pyramid draw a card and still Fanbearer, because I can't not Fanbearer, so I definitely can't cast Horror. I guess I can cycle the Horror, play the Pyramid, and still have 2 up for Fanbearer. Because we need removal right now. We need start to finish and stuff. Desert's Hold. Spine and Agony's something. Can't afford it right now anyway. I have to Fanbearer, so we play the Pyramid and Fanbearer. Maybe I can Agony down the Sphinx and start tapping the Horror and just take 2 in the sky every turn. The thing. I'm actually very happy to see them cycling on blocks instead of attacks. So I was scared we'd be getting close to just randomly dying to Horror cycles. Double Curse is a little bit of a nightmare here. Maybe I'll just play no more creatures for the rest of the game. I just attack with these enough times and we can get there. I can Agony the Guide, tap the Sphinx. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. 7 damage puts them at 9. Close-ish. I mean, if they block here, that's fine, though. I don't need to Agony the Aerial Guide immediately. I guess it makes it so they can't, like, use a cycle as a trick to have the Aerial Guide win a combat. Okay. They aren't going to do that. Then I think I'm actually on Splendid Agony the Sphinx. Tap the Horror. Because the Sphinx doesn't get bigger when they cycle. Stop drawing cards! Run out of gas, please. Cast no more spells all game. I would appreciate it. I probably should have tapped Horror last time as well, because it theoretically hits harder. They got the counterspell here. Gross. Ooh, and now we end up redrawing Splendid Agony. No, Catcher's Monument is useless against Trespasser's Curse. We actually don't even want to play this, because then we're just going to die if I cast another creature. Draw my Agony, tap the Horror, make the Sphinx 2/2, take the 2, pray. We have removal in this deck, we're just not drawing it. It's super rough. Oh, I don't have the mana to Fanbearer. Ouch. I have to chump block this turn. That's painful. Stop. I can't play a creature. I can't play a creature. I can't start to finish, which is like my main removal. Oh, there's Desert's Hold though, which gains me the life so I can play a creature. Hold up. Get rid of the Horror and the Sphinx right now and just attack with everything I have on board. Do this while they're tapped out-ish. And then I actually have the life to play one more creature, so I can play the biggest creature I have, Horror of the Broken Lands, with a cycling card in hand. Oh, God. Stop. This is actual comedy. Okay, Vizier. That doesn't tap anything, does it? Yeah, it only untaps things. Okay. Oh, that Eternal of Harsh Truths is a problem. Even if I block it, I take 2, which means if I play one creature, I die to this. And the Vizier can untap it even if I Fanbearer it. Oh. Afflict is what's going to get me here. If I don't block it, I'm at 5 and they draw a card, and if I play one creature, I go to 1. If I do block it, I take 2 and I play one creature and die. Man. I just don't see a solution here. Guess I draw the card since I can't really cast any of these anyway. Freaking 4 Trespasser's Curse. Oh no. I guess I just double block the Eternal, go to 4, and I just can't play creatures at all. Maybe I need to try to discard this to hand size. But then I have to sack one of the 2 creatures on board and never play any more. I don't think I can do anything. At all. Ever. Yeah, I don't see any solution to quadruple Trespasser's Curse. I think they just got us. In as comedic a way as possible, but they do just got us. Royal creatures. So now I have no damage on board. And no way to play any creatures without dying. Yep. That's a hand of uncastable spells. I don't think I have any draws in the deck that do anything. Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, everything involves a creature. I could draw my Trial of Ambition for the horror. Maybe they'll mill out somehow. We didn't draw the Trial of Ambition, so we're dead. Alright. I guess I forgot I could have scryed my upkeep, so we could have maybe scryed the Caravan out of the way. If the Trial's the next card, it's not. So it doesn't matter regardless. Well, let's send a message. Let's die as much as possible, because it's funny. Watch this, opponent. I'm about to die so hard. Look at all these creatures. Woo! Still waiting for 2 more creatures to resolve. Alright, well. We ran up against so many Trespasser's Curses today. In our pretty token-heavy deck, that's kind of brutal. The quadruple curse. That's just not not manageable. We just can't play any more spells when we get to the late game there. That was pretty disgusting. But we still got a 6-3 run, still an excellent run. Almost a trophy, not quite there, but still quite a solid win rate, which honestly, taking a look at this deck, really good showing of the deck, because this is just a collection of solid synergistic commons and uncommons. We have 0 rares, 0 bombs. It's just a bunch of solid synergistic stuff. So taking that all the way to a final battle feels pretty good. No rares, no problem. Still be quite a bit up in gems and in the money out of this draft. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.